Welcome back, everybody. How is your energy this morning? How are you feeling? Tell me in the chat. Good to see you guys back. So good. Excited. It's awesome when you remember that you can turn on your own radio, right? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. Just go ahead. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. It is so good to be with you guys. We have today and we have tomorrow before this launch is closing down. And we have so much more fun to dive into today. Type a 1 in the chat if you're ready. If you're ready, I am excited to share some fun things with you. So today we are going to go into the vortex and we are going to be manifestors. This is the whole reason we came to this world. We came to the world to be master manifestors. We came to create. We create from vibration, just the way Elsa turns energy into snowflakes. We can turn our thoughts into things. We can start perceiving, and our energy starts cooking. It starts boiling. It gets hotter and hotter, and we get into that receptive mode, and that receptive mode gets so coherent that we start to manifest a different experience. Every single possible reality is here in the infinite field. The field is infinite. That's what infinite means. And the reality that you're experiencing is the one that you're choosing. It's the one that you're choosing. And you can choose greater than that when you have the capacity to receive greater than that. How good can you stand it? How much more can you possibly expand to receive? Yes. How many of you enjoyed Tracy yesterday? She's awesome. I see the comments coming through. So we have some fun stuff to dive into today. We are going to talk about manifestation. We are going to talk about what we are co-creating. And then I have another little surprise. We're going to dive into talking a little bit about business. We talked a little bit about money last week. We talked about money because money is part of what we want to manifest. And for some of you, you mentioned yesterday, I put up a poll yesterday. Some of you voted in that poll. Some of you are manifesting, creating a business. And for some of you, that's not necessarily relevant, but we're going to just talk about it for a moment today. And I'm going to give you a couple what I think are really helpful tips as you manifest that into your life and you set down what keeps you from manifesting that with ease. So type a 1 in the chat if you're excited for that too. So first of all, let's go into creation mode. So I want you to take out a pen and paper, and I want you to draw sort of like 4 quadrants on your piece of paper. So it would look like this. And so you're going to draw four boxes, okay? And I want you to write in one box, health, okay? I want you to write in the other box, wealth. I want you to write in another box, relationships. And I want you to write in the other box, spiritual life. So you have health, wealth, relationships, and your spiritual life, okay? Now, close your eyes for a second. And I want you to, first of all, take a deep breath. I want you to see if you can find your way to the part of you that is so appreciative that you are alive in this moment. I want you to find the part of you that is so grateful and so in love with your life force. The fact that when you breathe, you're not worried about being able to breathe right now, that when you breathe, there's just this fullness of oxygen and there's this life force that's beating this heart in your chest. How much love do you have for this life, this moment? Feel into how full, how satisfying it feels to be in love with the fact that you are in this moment, alive, breathing. Feel what it feels like to feel that full, coherent, gorgeous, appreciative, beautiful wholeness. And let's just be grateful and thankful to our Creator for this life, for this moment, for this day, for this other next opportunity to create and to receive and to appreciate and to be in wonder and splendor. And what are all the beautiful things that we are going to be able to receive and witness and appreciate today? The people we're going to meet today, the people we're going to be with, the beautiful nature we're going to observe, the food we're going to eat, the physical health we're going to enjoy. What a treasure trove, a Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of life that we are given today on a silver platter. What magical, unexpected blessings. Who's going to text us? What things are we going to see? What content is going to make us inspired or laugh? How awesome. How plentiful. A cornucopia. All right, now from this place, we're going to move. Our soul is beyond time. It is in the now, and the now is beyond the past, and it's beyond the future. It is all time. From God's time, it is all happening now. When we move beyond the solar system, time evaporates, because in the universe, time doesn't make sense. It only makes sense in the 3-dimension. But beyond it, that's where we create. We create in the space that's beyond the speed of light, that's beyond the physical dimension, where it is pure consciousness. It is pure infinite potential and possibility. Now, I want you to look from that lens at your future self. You in the future. Could be a year from now, could be 3 years from now. And I want you to just see yourself. And there you are. Where are you? Are you like walking on a beautiful day with a friend? Are you sitting in the park? Are you drinking some coffee? Where are you? And I want you to just witness yourself so alive, so at peace, so surrendered, so at ease. Look at your jaw, how relaxed it is. Look at your shoulders, how relaxed they are. Look at your hair. Look at the glow in your face. Look at your clothing. What are you wearing? Where are you off to? What kind of ease and wholeness and fulfillment and satisfaction surrounds you, envelops you, exudes from you? And how much does your life force turn other people onto their life force? Just take yourself in, who you came here to be, who you are when you are in alignment. Perceive yourself, feel her. She is waving you in. She is beckoning you forward. How good does she feel? She is you. You are her. She lives within you. She's what's constantly reminding you of what exists for you in the future, because she's already been to the future. She's beyond time. How does she feel? What feelings does she memorize her way back to all the time? What mystical experiences does she have because she is in receptive mode? What thoughts fill her mind? What does she think? And what does she not think? What thoughts does she stay away from? What feelings does she no longer feel addicted to? And what life, what possibility has she created by being this being that is just ease and surrender and wholeness and love and joy What has she received? What does she have the capacity to receive? Now, in a moment, we're going to open our eyes, but I want you to take her with you. When you open your eyes, I want you to see through her eyes, hear her thoughts, feel her feelings. Take a deep breath. And you're going to blink your eyes open. How did that feel? Isn't that so awesome? So freaking magical. Wow, calming, expanding, freedom, incredible. Stay with it. Everything is energy. Your energy does the heavy lifting. Your energy is the skeleton key. Your energy is the DNA. It is the code that creates the 3D printout. Stay with it. Okay, now that was a taste of the kind of meditation I'm going to teach you to do in this program. We're going to do that every time we meet in the program, but we're going to go and break it down and make it much bigger so that it becomes a practice for you. Now, I had you write down on your sheet of paper these 4 quadrants, and you are looking at me through the eyes of your aligned self, right? We're staying with her. We feel what it felt like to be in that vortex with her, who you are when you are in alignment. Now, on the sheet of paper, this is like a 360 view of that future self right here that you're going to create. So that girl that you just made contact with, that future that you just made contact with, you just did a quantum leap. You moved through the metaverse, right? Because you just felt your way into a frequency that will build your whole world. Now, when you are in that frequency, I want you to write down, what does your health look like? What does your wealth look like? What do your relationships look like? What do they feel like? And what's your spiritual world like? So I want you, anything that would be a part of what would be created in your future life as it relates to any of this, write it down. So for health, how much energy do you have? What does your body look like? What are you eating every day? How much vitality do you have? Write it down. Write any words down that come up in that quadrant. For your wealth, what does that look like? What are you able to do with your wealth? What kind of steward are you? What kind of ways are you experiencing opportunities? Write it down. What hotels are you going to? What meals are you eating? What trips are you taking? What businesses are you buying? What is in there? And your relationships. What do those relationships look like? So I want you to just make a couple notes. What's happening in your world? What world are you creating in that future reality? Who is she? And how does she wake up? And how does she live? And where does she go? And what is she up to? Write it all down, whatever comes to you. And your spiritual health. Does she have a meeting with the divine every day? Does she ask God, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? Is she a vehicle for a love, for a power, for an energy greater than her own? Put some stuff on this page and then tell me, what are you creating? What does your health look like? What does your wealth allow for you to create? I want you to just breathe into that. I wake up and go to bed this way every day, minimum 90 minutes in my somatic meditative journal. The in-between takes a lot of imagination and creativity to stay above it all. Vitality, abundance, health, I feel good now. Connection. You know what's amazing? I've worked with thousands of people at this point. And what I realize, what I notice is that We are so bought in and so addicted to where we focus, and where we focus is usually on the lack of what we want, that when we go to play with what we want to create, it gets a little hazy. And I'll tell you why. We won't allow ourselves to want something that we don't believe we can have. And what I am wanting for you is for you to have the audacity to see further, to allow yourself to co-create the most magical, delicious possibility. And from the space of ease and wholeness, you have the capacity to just draw to you every yummy experience. You don't have to choose between being a spiritual person and having the most delicious places to visit and the most incredible opportunities. You don't have to choose. You can have a full abundance in every quadrant of your life. Now, I want to ask you two more questions. The first question is, when we were in that meditation and we were talking about this woman, this you, the part of you that keeps beckoning you into what you have come here to create in your destiny. What are the feelings when I said, how does she feel? How does she feel? Describe it. Calm, unstuck, peaceful, whole, light, happy, in flow, hopeful. And now if we are being loving to ourselves and being honest and being a witness, how often do you feel vibrant, carefree, calm, flowing, shining, joyful? I'm reading these words. How often? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fully all day long, 1 being rarely. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of your day do you feel ease and joy and calm? So there's definitely a range, right? And we talked about this yesterday with Tracy. It's because the mind is addicted, literally addicted to cortisol, literally addicted to fear. And it's a virtual reality movie that it plays for you, and it feels really real, doesn't it? And you can't create from that place. You just create more of it. And then we talked about, in that future meditation, we talked about, what are the thoughts that she thinks? What are the things that she thinks? What are some of the thoughts that you could hear her thinking when you started to make contact with that part of you that is in alignment? Love life. I think I love this little life. Hold fast. Wow. Anything is possible. I'm finally free. I'm so grateful. Infinite possibilities accomplished. I did it. Blessed. Speechless. Living in the joy. Yeah. How good do those thoughts feel? Imagine how good it feels, how you will feel, and what you will create if you felt because you thought those things. Can you imagine if all day long you were thinking those things? How good is it? How sweet is it? How immediate is it? That's when you are in receptive mode. That's when you are manifesting. And then I said to you, What does she not think? What does she not feel? What doesn't exist for her? Doubt, shame, anxiety, guilt, lack, depression, stress, regret, shame. So it's interesting. When I had Dan Buettner on my podcast and we talked about living into our hundreds, we talked about the best years of our life. And, it turns out that in terms of happiness and joy and quality of life, it's unfortunate, and I'll explain why, but most of the research shows that people actually are happier later in their life, in their 70s and 80s, than they were when they had more vitality and energy in their 30s and 40s. Why do you think that is? Yeah, there's a surrender, there's freedom. I'm reading there's less ego. So the amygdala starts to calm down. The serotonin starts to go up a little bit. And they wish that they could take how they feel about life then back to their 30s and 40s and 50s when they had more energy. As a person who practices meditation, as a person who feels these feelings of joy and energy and positivity and appreciation because I've practiced it, we become what we practice. When I look and feel and see the distinction here between how good it feels to feel in the flow, in the receptive mode, and how you witness and admit to what normally is pulsing through you, I feel how unnecessary it is to live inside that virtual reality. You're choosing it. It's not real. Thoughts aren't facts. But the more we practice that brain, the more we set that software, put that needle on that old record, we live into Groundhog Day, we think and we feel the way we did yesterday, and we get the same result. And it doesn't feel like any of the things that we actually wanted to come to this world for. And we get played because just like Instagram has an algorithm and it focuses on the more extreme sort of like stressful things because it does better in the algorithm, so does your brain. Your brain has that same algorithm, except you are more powerful than your mind. And you can direct it. And you can turn on the flashlight that shows you the true reality and the true possibility. And very quickly, you become a coherent signal that radiates a much bigger ripple in the field, and you start impacting the world around you from that place. Type a 1 in the chat if that feels more like what you want to create. And that's why I'm still here. How many days in? We started last Monday because it's completely unnecessary and it's completely avoidable and it's completely possible for you to become a master manifestor in your life and to meet up with that future self and enjoy it all. Ride your bike in the south of France. Read the most beautiful book sitting on a porch in Nantucket overlooking the lake while your kids are playing in the sand, and to feel the most incredible creative thoughts flow through you, and to be inspired to show up for a person in your life in a way that changes their day, and to appreciate every little thing as it shows up so you just can't believe how much joy and beauty is in every day that you walked right past, you're now going to start to see it. You're going to say, oh my God, this is planet Earth. You're going to start noticing the goodness in people, how quickly people are drawn to you because you are a magnet for love and kindness and oneness. The invitations you get, the meals you get to sit at, the places you get to go, the opportunities, the abundance. Oh my God, how it comes to you. This is why, to me, this whole thing that we're doing, this work, it's essential. Essential. So I believe that one way or another, this is the path, right? After interviewing 900 people, after spending years living in Jerusalem, years at UCLA studying meditation, going on countless retreats, sitting in hours and hours and hours and hours of meditation, I just can't see another way. And the good news is everyone can do this. Everyone can do this. Like, I happen to be a singer. I don't think I can teach everyone to sing. People sometimes think that that's a possibility. No, it's actually not. But I can teach everyone to feel fucking amazing and to manifest the shit out of their life. Everybody. Anyone. So I want to tell you some more fun things, and we're going to talk a little bit about that now. How many of you are starting to feel this sort of alter ego, this other you that is just like beckoning you forward? You are not just ready, you are over ready. You are like the banana on the tree that is now ready to turn into banana bread because it is so ripe. You are so ready. You called in this experience. You're only still sitting here because you can totally hear my language. A lot of people, they're not ready to even be ready to have this conversation. They're still addicted to feeling like shit, and they're going to be in that for a lot longer, right? You're ready. So I want you to hear this, and I want to make sure that you get this. I am going to be teaching this program live, and we are so excited about this. And the doors to this program are going to close Thursday night. And I know that you're going to be so happy that you joined it. And I know it's scary as shit. You're going to say, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I'm going to tell you, if it means that you can feel as good as you just felt, it is already fulfilling what you asked it to do. You have a power inside of yourself, and it is time to turn it on and tap into it. Now, I'm about to announce something really freaking fun. How many of you, because we talked about this yesterday, how many of you have or want to start a business? How many of you have a business you want to scale or want to start a business? Type a 1 in the chat if you want to start or scale a business. So for some of you, you freaking love that idea. I don't blame you. I geek out on starting businesses. I'm obsessed with it. You know why? It's all the vortex, turning a thought into a thing. Freaking love it. Love it. Love starting my own businesses. Love helping other people start businesses. Why would I not? When I was a kid, I didn't sit in the house. We didn't have screens to look at. We didn't have iPads. I was outside all day long, right? I enjoyed that. Wayne Gretzky said that his mother used to say to him, you see those street lights? Do not walk back in this house until those street lights go on. And she'd close the door and they'd be outside all day long, creating things, playing with things. To me, that is what business is. Let's go all day long. I'm like, let's turn a thought into a thing. Feels so freaking good, because a business gets to be a world. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. What is the energy of the world we create in the language we use, in the charge we give people by charging for certain things? It's all about transacting around energy, right? We don't buy Nikes because we want sneakers. We buy them because we want to be the GOAT. Nike is selling the possibility of you stepping into being the person who just does it. That's what they sell. So people buy it, right? So to me, branding and businesses are great ideas that give people energy that move us forward. Apple is creativity. You're a genius. Buy an apple, you're creative. Why would you not then buy an apple? It's amazing branding. And the branding alone, just the branding helps you. Just looking at the branding, think different. That helps, right? Brands are just great ideas that move us forward into the quantum. It is so much fun. And holy shit, can you make money from a business? So I love teaching people how to start businesses, and I have a signature program that many people have taken. Thousands actually graduated from this program and turned an idea into income and scaled their existing businesses. And it is called Made to Do This. And it is all about what is it that you love to do that you can get paid to do? That program was a $3,000 program. We ran that program many times. People ate it up. It's an awesome program. We are now today, drum roll, we are giving you that as a bundle in this program when you sign up by tomorrow night. If you want to start or scale a business, watching that class will give you life, and it will give you the tools to go make money in your business, and you will freaking drool. You will love it. You will have pages of notes, pages of notes. And here's the best part. You're going to learn business, my way of doing business. My way of doing business is not hustle. It's about possibility that comes from being a magnet. Yes, you're going to learn about building an audience. You're going to learn about how we scale, how we grow. I'm going to talk a little bit about it right now, but my way of doing it is very different than most people. And I'm going to give you a little bit of that right now because why not? I love it. It's fun. Now, for those of you who have no desire to start a business, it's fine. You don't need to. You're going to learn in this program how to become a master manifestor, period, end of story. But if you want to start a business, you're going to have that entire program. And for those of you who sign up for Platinum, guess what? We are going to have extra sessions with me and Veronica Romney, who's an amazing branding consultant, who I hired, who I've worked with, who's a friend of mine, a peer of mine. And we are going to be looking at, this is again, you can take it or leave it, but this is going to be extra. Those of you in gold are going to have one session with me and Veronica to look and audit what is the world you're creating, what is the branding you're creating, what is the story you're telling, who's the hero of that story, your audience. How are you helping that woman to see herself greater than she did before? And what are the ways that you're going to be putting that into the world and building a world around this story that you tell? You'll get a session like that in gold. Those of you in platinum, you get 3 sessions like that. Those 3 sessions alone are worth the cost of this whole program. I've done 2 VIP days with Veronica. Each of them were $15,000 a piece. Each one of those things helped me together with her Idea Lab. What was the next big move for my business? If any of you know Boss Babe, which is like one of the big handles, she ran Boss Babe. And she happens to be a mom with 2 boys, and she's adorable, and she's got a great husband, and she's a great sister, and she goes to church, and she's just adorable and sweet, and you'll love her. And we're going to have some fun with that. Also, for those of you in platinum, if on our sessions, you want to be asking questions about growing your business, I'm happy to, love to help you manifest in that way. I think that there are people who are out there who tell people that they can teach business, and then there are people who actually can help people teach business. And for me, my business, my PhD that helps me teach business is like my businesses, right? I think if somebody does one thing and it works, you could say they got lucky. But if somebody does something and they've done it again and again and again and again with every business they've done, there's a strategy, there's a method, there's something that's working about how they approach that. And because I've been able to build my business and move it from 0 to 500 grand to $1 million to 5 million and upwards of 5 million, I can help you to move the needle there. So that's a little bit we're going to sprinkle in. Now, I'm also really excited to tell you that those of you who are joining Platinum, or those of you who do the Pay in Full, you know that you get to come to one of the retreats included. Well, guess what? It looks like most likely, it's almost filled up, but most likely as of now, that July retreat, it's either July or October, and the July retreat is most likely at my gorgeous, stunning home that is overlooking the hills, the Hollywood Hills, which you will absolutely love. You definitely want to get in on that because some of you are going to kick yourself and you're going to say, I just want to buy the retreat a la carte, which is $3,000. So you may as well join so that you can come to the retreat. It's going to be so much fun. And at the retreat, there's going to be all day, all night immersion in manifestation. And we will sprinkle in a couple sessions about growing and scaling whatever it is that you want to monetize, because it is just so much freaking fun to do that. Who's excited for that? Type a 1 in the chat if you're excited. Okay, so now, do you want to hear a little bit? You want me to just like tickle the ivories a little and talk a little bit about business? Type a 2 in the chat if you want to hear a little bit about some of my tips and tricks on business, because you can take these with you. All right, I love it. Here we go. So first and foremost, I'm going to give you 4 things to do, 2 things not to do. And we could talk all day, but this is just literally some of my favorites. Okay. Write these down and then we're going to go into it. Okay. Write down the word intimacy. Write down the word engagement. Write down the word visibility. And supercharge. We're going to talk about that. Okay. Now, these are the 4 things to do. And then we're going to talk about the 2 things not to do. Okay. So number 1, business is intimacy. That's what business is. Why? Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Business is about connection. Sales is not numbers, it's people. Great businesses, as Seth Godin says, are about radical empathy. Business is not a dialogue or monologue, it's a dialogue, it's a conversation. It's about understanding people and making them feel seen. When a business understands and connects, there is a tremendous amount of money that's made. So the next thing I had you write down was engagement. Now, let me put these 2 things together. Most of the time, the reason people are failing is because they're going for width, and it's about depth. It's not about width. It is literally about depth. Most people are trying to be Taylor Swift. Most people are trying to be vanilla ice cream. They want everybody to know them and everyone to like them. They believe that that is what is required. No, it's the opposite. You want the depth. You want to go deep. You don't want to have a lot of people in the world who sort of kind of know you. You want to have a small group of people that are obsessed with you. That's how you grow a phenomenal business. It starts there. And how does that happen? It's about engagement. So when you are looking at what's happening with people's audiences, if you're following someone on Instagram or whatever it is, the most important factor is the engagement. They might have X amount of followers, but how many people are engaged? How many people are commenting? Seth Godin talks about in his book, This is Marketing. It's a great book. He talks about the difference between the Grateful Dead and Taylor Swift. And he says, when people call themselves Swifties, they're like diehards, right? Meanwhile, the Grateful Dead, when people follow, and I don't know anything about the Grateful Dead, but he uses this example. He says, when people say that they're deadheads and you ask them how many concerts they've gone to, they say, we've gone to 112. We've gone to 416. It's an obsession. And he says that band was never even on the radio. This was like, people were obsessed with them. They went for depth. They went for engagement all the way in, right? And so Any business, typically 80% of the business is repeat business. And so most of the time when you're just starting out or when you're scaling, the thing to be thinking about isn't how do I get more people? It's how do I go deeper with the people who are here right now, which is why you can start a business with 5 people. We can understand them. We can know what they want, what they love, what makes them tick, right? And so engagement is everything. And I've started so many different kinds of businesses, and it's all about engagement. Now, the next thing I had you write down was visibility. Showing up is key, right? Being visible. And when you're visible, it's about making deposits. It's not about what they need to do to approve of you or like your post. It's about how you just show up and deposit. Human beings are actually very consistent. And the more we deposit with people, the more we give, the more we add value, they just naturally then want to be showing up and coming back and working with us. And so it is about how do you add value? It's about being visible and adding value, being visible and adding value. And so there is never a shortage of opportunities for you to show up. That means be visible and add value. And we will talk about in detail, you'll learn and made to do this. How do you do that? And how do you do that in a way that feels really good? And the last thing I had you write down was like supercharging, right? There is a buyer at every price. There are people who go to Target. There are people who go to Gucci. There are people who go to Gucci and Target, right? There's a buyer at every price. When we charge people, we charge them. Literally, they get a charge out of buying things. People love to shop. They love to buy tickets at things. They love to buy themselves a bracelet. They love to buy a new houseplant. People love to actually buy things. They get a charge out of it. It charges them. It energizes them. And so when we charge for things, we want to play with that and enjoy that and understand what is it that's in it for them because you're giving them the opportunity to pay for something, right? And then what is the transaction? What is the experience? So we're going to play with that so that you can charge more and understand you get to choose your fishing hole. There is a buyer at every price. Now, and I'm just kind of doing like rapid fire for you. The 2 things that stand in people's way, the 2 things not to do is to be, and you'll see how this relates, is to be codependent. I'll explain, and to try to be an A student. And here's what I mean. Those are the 2 things not to do. Everything that I just said about starting a business, growing a business, making money in a business is all easy and simple and delightful and fun when we're not codependent. Every single time I meet with a woman and we're having a conversation about her business, and let's say she thinks she has a business problem, she never has a business problem. It's never a business problem. She always has a courage problem, and it's from being codependent. And here's what I mean. The thought that is nonstop is, who am I to do this? What will people think? Am I good enough? Do I have what it takes enough? Who am I to charge this? And all of that is what's keeping you in this moment. If you're the kind of person who wants to start or scale a business, what would you charge if you didn't think that? What would you attempt if you didn't think that? What would you offer if you didn't think that? You would be free. You'd be free to show up and to serve and to charge whatever the heck feels good and fun, and you would go and do it. But women, for the most part, have been raised to be people pleasers and to constantly take the temperature in the room. And so they abandon themselves in order to belong, but then they don't really belong to anyone because they've stopped belonging to themselves. So now they don't belong to themselves, which means they can't really belong to anyone because they're not even there. They're a shell of themselves. When you hear yourself say, who am I to do this? Who is anyone to do anything? Honestly, are they God? Why are they doing it? They just gave themselves permission to do it. And what does everyone want? Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to feel that you care. So let's say you're just starting out with your business, whether you make invitations for weddings or you do massage or haircuts or you put on retreats. Who are you not to do it? Because who is anyone to do it? What if you're just starting out? But let's say you care a ton about being invested in your customers' satisfaction. Then you might be even better than the person who's been at this for 20 years because they might care a little less, or they might not even be involved anymore. So the quality is totally down. I mean, I won't name names, but the other day I went to get my hair done and the person who started this place no longer works at this place. And the people that they hire are like, there's no quality control because now it's so popular, right? There is a reason that you can find evidence for you to be able to set down the who am I to do this, because maybe you're the best person to do this because you care that much, because you're enrolled, because you're collaborative, because you're listening, because you're available. Ultimately, people pay to feel seen because all that they want is for somebody to at least care about solving their problem. And when the manager comes over at the restaurant and says, I'm so sorry you didn't like this, whatever can I get you? We want to make it up to you. You're going to come back to that restaurant. It doesn't matter that it's not always a slam dunk. Leadership is not about being perfect. Leadership is about leading your way through it. Leadership is saying, I don't know what's coming over the hill, but I'm going to do it. I'll problem solve it anyway. I have no shame. Sometimes things will come up. I won't completely destroy myself if I make a mistake. I will stay in it. I will own it. And it will be beautiful. When you're codependent, you say to yourself, well, people are going to, squawk if I charge X, Y, and Z. There will be people who squawk over anything you charge. You could charge $5. People will say, I can't believe she's charging $5. You could charge $15,000. People are like, I can't believe she's charging that. You could charge $100. Somebody says, oh, I wish you would have charged 1,000 because the fact that it's 100 to me doesn't feel valuable enough. So it's irrelevant. You're not here to serve 8 billion people. You're here to just serve the people who you actually are here to serve. And you get to decide what feels like the right transaction of energy. And there is a way in which that communicates value. Anyway, people don't buy price. They buy the value. At the end of the day, people will say, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, but they will go buy the newest iPhone, even though they have the other iPhone. Why? They want the value, not the price. They've already decided they're going to spend whatever the price is to get the value because that value is it's just a part of their life at this point. You just get the new iPhone. That's just a decision they've already made, right? They're not nickel and diming it because it's just done. I mean, I see college kids who say, I don't have the money for this and that, but they've got the new phone and they've got the old phone and they've got the new sneakers that just came out because they want the new Jordans, but they say, no, I can't afford that. I can't afford it. It's not that they can't afford whatever. They don't see the value. Being in business is not about pricing it lower. It's about understanding the value and communicating it. Why is my program, for instance, the cost that it is? Because it's there with me. It's live. I don't even do one-on-one coaching, but I used to do VIP days, right? That was $12,000 for a day. We don't even do them anymore. We have so much demand. There's no way I could make a business out of doing a VIP day every day. I wouldn't even have the time or the energy. And I have 3 children. So is it worth it if I'm going to be there with you live? Of course it's worth it, right? And now for some people, they're going to say, I would rather sort of duct tape it together. But will they really get the value? I mean, because if you don't pay, you don't really pay attention. So if you try to learn meditation on YouTube and no one's actually there to make sure that you're there for the call because no one's there live, will you get the same value? No, not even close. But some people value their money and some people value their time. And people who are further along in their journey tend to value their time more than their money. So they say, I want to save time and get the result now. So I want to pay for this program, or I want to pay for this service, or because I want to compress all that time into minutes because my time is way more valuable to me than my money. And I know that if I'm able to grow or to elevate or to solve this problem, I will be able to make more money because there is more money always to make, but time I can't keep printing. So supercharging people is what I mean. You charge them from the energy of value which you put in front of them, which comes from being worthy and giving yourself permission to do what you were meant to do. Period. End of story. I will tell you from interviewing almost 900 people, everyone you can possibly think of, from Deepak Chopra to Matthew McConaughey, I've interviewed everybody. Everybody has imposter syndrome. Every single person. Not just you. It's a part of the ego. It's a part of the brain. It's a malfunction. And the only thing that is interesting anyway is the energy that is not even you, the energy that comes through you when you are a vessel for God's love, for God's light, for the divine, period. And we are all overqualified to give this energy of love and compassion and creativity and reception to other people. I interviewed Howard Schultz at one point for my podcast. He, of course, started Starbucks. And I walk into the interview and I had my coffee and I spilled it because my brain was like, who am I to do this? Bop, 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 bop. And I realized that's so ridiculous, right? And then he and I had the most beautiful heart-to-heart conversation. He told me he grew up in public housing. He grew up in being given food because they were on food stamps. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of imposter syndrome did he have? And now he's a billionaire and he gives tons of money to charity and he has the most amazing kids and he's still married to the same woman after 48 years, which is the most amazing thing because God only knows, right? God only knows what he was tested with. So imposter syndrome is just something your brain's going to do. But when we're codependent, we keep ourselves stuck in it. Now, the other thing I said not to do is to try to be an A student. You cannot be an A student here. I need only C students. Why? Because you have to be scrappy. A business is never done. It's like a process. It's a laboratory. Why do they keep rolling out new iPhones? Because there's always a better version. Do they say, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. The iPhone 1 wasn't as good as the iPhone 4. No, it's evolving. It's a process. It's a creative process. And to be successful, we need to be in the lab, exploring, having fun, enjoying the journey of it, testing things, putting things out there. So don't overthink in order to come up with your best thing. Your best is only your current best. It will be better. So drop it. Stop overthinking it. Instead, underthink it, underthink it, underthink it, underthink it, put it in the world, put it in the world, ship the work, ship the work, ship the work, post, publish, get it out, get it in the world, let people test it, let people taste it, get the feedback, get the feedback, get the feedback. Rejection is redirection. Failure is not failure. It's feedback. It's continuously helping you build the next best version. So when I work with people, and this is why you will love Made to Do This, you will go watch it. You will love it. And if you're in platinum, you will work with me. You will work with Veronica on scaling your business. These are the things that get in our way. So type a 1 in the chat if you're excited to learn business with me. It's really fun. It's so fun, actually. The best part of it is how much fun it is. That's the best part of it. Forget the fact that, yes, I've made millions of dollars. How fun is that? Forget the millions of dollars. The fun part is who I've become in the journey. And all of it, all that I just said, when you are manifesting, when you are meditating, when you are emanating a greater signal, when you have a greater electromagnetic current that it comes from you, then every single thing you do, it explodes because frequency carries the information, because intention creates result, because it is felt in the field. And so when you start a podcast or when you post something on Instagram and your energy is coherent, people can feel it. When you put something out there, people can feel it. When you're available to receive, it can be felt, and you become a match for the most awesome synchronicities. So those of you who join by tomorrow night, you will get the full Made to Do This $3,000 program included. And we will do a session with me and this incredible friend of mine, Veronica Romney, who is a business expert, branding expert. And those of you in Platinum, you'll get all of that plus an additional 2 sessions with Veronica and me to talk about the world that you're manifesting. As we talk about this, I will tell you, if you had a question about, I feel so stuck, how am I going to possibly pay for this program? I would make myself a fun little adventure and say, I'm going to do this program to learn how to be a master manifestor, because that's ultimately the funnest thing in the world I can think to do. And I'm going to watch the Made to Do This content, and I'm going to give myself this fun challenge that if I start anything or scale anything, I can at least make back what I spend on this program. Why not? Who will you become just by co-signing that challenge? What fun thing might you create? We've had thousands of people come through that program. In fact, some of them are in this chat, and it will give you the tools to go ahead and do that. We've helped people make so much out of their lives and their businesses and their talents and things they didn't even know that they could turn into businesses or ways they can scale. Right now, there are already things that you're doing that you could charge more for. Right now, there are already ways for you to be able to bring that in. So if you want to join, you can go to cathyheller.com/join, and you can grab all of that extra fun stuff. Now, I'm going to hop into the VIP room in just a minute, but I do want to give away $1,000 because you guys entered. There was a bunch of people who entered, and I want to say thank you so much. Those reviews were gorgeous. We're doing a giveaway right now for $1,000. And just so we're in the loop, it was for people who reviewed the podcast and subscribed. And I hope that you will continue to find value in that podcast, because it is there for you. It is there for the taking. It is free, and it is there every single week, as it has been since January 2017. So my team can go ahead and drop the winner in the chat who entered. And just for the fun of it, if you come back tomorrow, we will do one last $1,000 giveaway tomorrow. The winner is Sherry Hale. Sherry, congratulations on winning that $1,000. You can send an email to hello@cathyheller.com to claim your prize. And I love you guys so much. It is so much fun. How fun is it to manifest? How fun is it to come back to these higher degrees of frequency that live in us, that are always there, hidden in plain sight? How fun is it to turn thoughts into things? How fun is it for us to create money, to create a business, to create opportunities, to create ways that we can just be of service in the world, doing what we came here to do? So I would definitely, if I were you, go join this program, because you get this bundle of now both of these programs, and you are going to love it. And you have the whole, well, you have the content forever. You have a lifetime access. So you have the whole summer to work through this and to be learning how to manifest while also learning how to start a business if you'd like. I'm going to go jump into the VIP room. I look forward to seeing all of you guys joining the program, because manifesting your life is your hidden talent, and it's time to tap into it. I cannot wait to watch you having those 4 quadrants: the health, the wealth, the spiritual beauty that runs through you, the relationships that are glowing. Let's go get it. How good can you stand it? And you can still join Platinum. And if you join Platinum, you get all the extras, and you get the retreat included. It's going to be pretty fun. All right, I'm going to go to VIP, and I will see you guys in the VIP room.